Hi guys, it's Friday the 2nd of April and today's one of them glorious days where we're allowed to actually go and see our family and friends in gardens. In the UK you can do it up to 6 people. Me and Liv are going today to mum and dad's to get a bit of a drink on. We're going out about 4:30. It's like 2 o'clock now and Liv's still getting ready, so while she's getting ready, sometimes I like to do a bit of a video because it takes her a while and I kind of walk up to her every 4 seconds going, "Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet?" So I thought I'd take myself off and do something. I joined a club called Beer 52. It's massive, everyone already probably knows about it but me. And I don't usually drink craft ales and stuff like that, but your first box was £5.95. Don't worry, I'm not sponsored by them because no one watches my videos. This one's One Eye IPA, 7%, and to be honest it's changed my drinking life. I love them. I absolutely love them. I'm coming off the whiskey, so tonight I'm just going to be drinking these. But like I said, it's 7%, so I'll probably be arsed by about 6 o'clock. Anyway, the point to this video, me and Olivia last night was talking. We was talking about NHS and stuff like that and how good they've been for us. And it got us on a conversation of how many tablets I've actually taken in my life. So I thought, do you know what would be a really sad, boring, pathetic but actually quite interesting video is me looking at my tablets, the main ones, and adding up how many I've actually taken in my life. So here we are. The Samsung watch, and I'm going to use the calculator which I downloaded earlier. I can work it. I've not had to wear it for ages because we've not been outside for a year, so I've not really sat in my house in my undies with my watch on. So I think the daddy of all cystic fibrosis medication, correct me if I'm wrong, is Creon. Now when I was first diagnosed with it when I was 5, I was on a very different dose than I am now. I used to have to take 8 to 10 with a main meal and 4 or 5 with a snack, but that's all changed now. So now I'm on Creon 25,000, but I've been on Creon 10,000, which has obviously changed how much I've had to take throughout my life. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to assume that I was on Creon 10,000 until I was 16, and then I'm just going to sort of go on to 25,000 because that's roughly when I changed it. So based on that, I would say a day I would probably take, I'd say about 45 to 50 when I was on Creon 10,000 or the lower dose before I was 16. So let's do, and this is, I'm terrible at maths by the way, so this is probably not even going to be that accurate, but we'll get an idea. So, oh shit, 365 days in a year, I haven't got that right, this video is embarrassing. Times, let's say, to start with, let's say 45. So that's, alright, here we go. 16,442 a year. I was diagnosed when I was 5 and we'll go up to 16, so I'll times that by 11. So by the time I was 16 I had already taken, potentially give or take a few thousand, maybe 80,000 because my maths is shit, 180,675 Creon by the age of 16. So that's when I got changed to 25,000, we'll say, because it's been up and down, but we're only going for shock value numbers here, we're not really being dead accurate. So 180,675. I need to write that down actually. 180,675. So from when I was 16, I would say on my Creon 10,000 to 25,000. It's probably gone down to about 20 to 25 a day, so I'll say 25 top end because I eat like an arsehole pretty much every day, so we'll just go for that. 25 times 365, 9,125 a year, which is mental. Times that, how old am I now? Just about to be 34. Hang on, yeah. 18 years, so times 18 equals 164,250. 344,925. can remember missing around 10 meals. That's it. When I've been out pissed and I couldn't be bothered and I wanted a kebab, I've probably missed about 10, maybe 15 meals without Creon. Since the age of 5, my mum used to make sure I had it in jelly and jam, you know, when you used to have to tip all the balls out, which tastes rank, by the way. Yeah, 10 to 15 max meals missed. So that's probably quite accurate. And let's do the maths as well. This is an important one. So on Creon, I'd have probably had 2 poos per day. Yeah, I'll take 2 poos average. So I always end up talking about poo. You notice that with cystic fibrosis, you always end up talking about poo. No matter what you do, no matter who you're with, it always comes back to the turd. So 730 poos a year roughly. So as a result of my excessive amount of Creon, I've had 24,090 poos. I'm a scat man. As if for my son, I haven't been the most consistent with these, so I would probably say, and this is being completely honest, these only really started getting taken properly. I can't even lie. Probably about 30, when I was 30. So 2 of them a day, 1 in the morning, 1 at night, 250 milligrams. I'm going to try and do the maths here. So 2 a day for 4 years. 2,250, I'd say. I haven't been the best with them. I've done through all the standard cystic fibrosis stages where your mum and dad made you do everything, and then when you got to 16, luckily I've had the privilege of being quite well that I could drop that and probably not see any noticeable disadvantages at the time. But obviously now we've got Kaftrio, which is a whole different story. I understand how ill I was, but you get used to how ill you are, and if you're not getting worse fast, sometimes you just coast thinking you don't need the medication that you actually do need. AccuCheck test strips. Again, when I first got diabetes, I kind of rejected it, and one thing I will say for myself is I've always done my insulin. I did that every single day. I've not missed a single dose of insulin since I got diabetes, again at 15, 16. I was actually on too much of a high dose. I was on something called Humalog 50, and I was doing 26 units in the morning and 12 at night, and that was half long acting and half fast acting, and basically it used to just drop me. So I eat a lot anyway, so every time I ate it used to go, and it's probably not the best way, it probably wasn't the best way to live, but it actually worked up until I started to give a shit about it. Obviously now I give a shit about it, it's a little bit harder, it's a little bit more intense, and it practically rules my life, but I'm keeping myself well and keeping myself fit for the future, because it couldn't have continued like that, you know what I mean? Long story short, I would probably say that my AccuChecks were only really used from about 24, we'll say 24. And when I started using my AccuChecks, I would do morning, after breakfast, before tea, 2 hours after tea, so 4 on average a day. Now I'm like Captain fucking Diabetes, I'd probably say that's gone to about 8. So if we level that off at 6 a day minimum, times I finger prick and do my blood sugars, let's work that out. 15,330 finger prickers I've been through. And there is probably, I don't know if you can see it, there is probably, that's mental, isn't it? Because that means that there are 15,330 holes in these fingers. God. Look at that. I'm surprised I've got any fucking fingers left. I'm surprised it's not just one fucking big nubbin. I'm on loads more medication, but I'm not going to go through all of them. These are just like the main zingers. What else have we got? active breathing physio. And do you remember, I don't know if you remember, when you're young, or when I was young, your mum and dad used to have to do the patting on your chest, and you do physio twice a day. And I think from the age of 5 till about, I want to say about 10, 11, my mum and dad used to do my physio consistently twice a day. It didn't matter if like my eye was hanging out, I'd still be like, they'd always do it, and that was amazing. And that is a massive credit to them, because I truly believe that part of the reason why I'm so well today is because they give me the best possible start in life. Now this is 7%, and I'm not going to talk anymore because I'm probably going to get emotional tonight on the Zoom. From the age of 5 to about, I'd say 12, because I can't really remember, but I know I was getting quite big to be on the table and the, you know, the wedge that you used to get. So we'll say 5 to 12, so 7 years. My mum and dad sat down 5,110 times doing physio. Can you imagine seeing someone and spending half an hour with them twice a day, 5,110 times? There'd be a few awkward silences, and I'm pretty sure there was. I'm pretty sure some of the days we were just kind of, well, I'd be watching TV and it'd be like, so yeah, that's dedication. Trikafta. Obviously you take 1 at night of the blue and 2 in the morning of the orange. So I'm just gonna add this up as 3. So far I have had 720 doses, or 720 tablets of the finest, heaviest medication that the cystic fibrosis community could ever receive. So that's amazing that I've already. See, some people, a lot of people actually complain about the NHS and stuff like that, but I think people like me, if you look at all medications and tablets that I've taken and all the care that I've had, I think they're pretty brilliant. I'm drinking this espresso martini one now. It's got coffee and lactose in it. So does that technically mean that I'm going to be like, woo! And I need a shit. I think I might be getting drunk here. Right, next one. So, what? So with cystic fibrosis, we are in and out of hospital like a blue arse fly, aren't we? Personally, I've always been quite lucky, especially when I was younger. So I would say I averaged every 2 to 3 years coming in for 2 weeks of IVs. So each time I come in, I would spend 2 weeks in there. I'd say up until the last few years before Kaftrio, that's when I started coming in once or maybe twice a year. You might remember on my channel that I was actually in 3 times within a year, which for me was quite soul destroying, because I'm one of these people, like most people are, where you want to look and appear as well as you can, and when people ask you, and it's almost like a bragging thing. It's weird when someone asks you and you go say, "Oh, when's the last time you were in hospital?" You're like, 3 years. But then when you start going in sort of 3 times in a year, you start to worry yourself and you start to think, shit, I'm going downhill here. Even though you're probably not, you've just had 3 unlucky infections. I had like the rhinovirus, influenza A/corona. But even before that, I'd been in because I was just getting a bit run down. So life's a shitter and it can hit you at any point. So let's add up all the times I've been in hospital. I might do how many days. This might get complicated. So 252 days. Roughly is what I've spent in hospital. And to be honest, that sounds like a lot, but I'm quite grateful for that, because I may have been in a slight bit more, but that's not a lot by any stretch. There's people in there who live in there for months and months and months, and they're amazing. They're stronger than I'll ever be. But it does make you stronger. Them 252 days, they're not days that I remember as sadness and struggling. The days of power, the days that make me stronger, because every time I've come out of hospital, no matter how old I've been, I felt amazing and I felt strong, and I've always felt proud of myself. I've said this a lot, but I always come out of hospital on such a high, and it's like a reset switch. It makes everything amazing again for the time that you go up and it's like that, and then you go in again and it's like that. So it's kind of taught me all the resilience I've got, because even now when it comes to going to hospital, there's a lot of considerations, there's a lot of fear and anxiety, because you feel like, oh my god, my family's going to have to visit me every 2 minutes now, and they're going to want to, even though I don't want them to, for their own sakes. There's a lot of mental weight behind it. It's actually quite a horrible experience, but at the end of it, it's an amazing experience. No matter if you come out of hospital not really where you was before, you come out of there stronger every single time. Every time. God, what's in this? So if you take a trip down memory lane and you start thinking about how many tablets you've actually taken, how many times you've been in hospital, how many times you've visited hospital, how many fucking hours you've spent in the waiting room, all of this stuff, you might surprise yourself. It's probably not worth thinking about, but it just really interested me, because a lot of my life and a lot of my days have been taken up by cystic fibrosis, and you don't kind of appreciate how much work you've actually done and how strong it's made you, because you think of all them tablets I've taken, all the times I've been in hospital, and people take more, people do more. For all your life and all my life, we've been doing that, and we've been fighting for this long, and now obviously Kaftrio's come and it's made most things amazing, but it's still a medication and it's still work and it's still effort. So at the end of it all, think about how much you've actually done and give yourself a pat on the back, because you're amazing, I'm amazing, we're fucking amazing. I'm gonna have to slow down on these because Liv's gonna kill me.